Financial data is critical to companies, governments, and individuals. Yet data can often be difficult to access and even trickier to dissect. Quasar Markets believe they've found the answer in their Web3 financial marketplace, with the ambitious goal to bring economic data to the hands of every single person. I'm Andrew Wilson, and I'm here in Davos to speak with SteveOrr, CEO and founder of Quasar Markets. Stephen, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, why don't you give us an overview of Quasar Markets, how you came about, what you're trying to achieve, and how far you've got with that so far?
Yeah, great question. Over the last 2 decades, in my mind, I wanted to change the fintech world. I wanted to be the Amazon of the fintech world. The problem there in fintech is that it's very fragmented, meaning there are a lot of companies out there either doing charting or software or things of that nature. What if I could put it all together? And so over the last 2 decades, I thought about it, and about 6 months ago, we decided to actually do it. We were down at the Bitcoin conference in Miami, and I said, I know what to do. And so here we go. And so I started with about 50 vendors, and we got all the way through. We got over 200 vendors now. But what's exciting about it is I wanted to put it all together, whether that's Web3 and AI and all of the pieces of all the different companies out there into one Web3 platform.
So AI, we're now all coming to, us normal people are starting to understand that it's becoming a reality, particularly in the world of finance. How far of a reality has it become so far in the world of finance?
We've actually moved quite a ways. I mean, I've been talking about AI for at least 7 years now, and here it is integrating into the actual fintech space. What's very cool about it is that we've actually done it in a way that actually gives you a better answer. The problem with ChatGPT or OpenAI or companies like that is that when you ask specific questions, you don't normally get the right answer all the time you want, right? It hallucinates, shall we say. What if I could take that AI and actually attach it to the actual databases, say like Fred or Edgar, the SEC databases, or here, the WorldEconomicForum, and actually attach that AI and get better answers, more concise, in a way that actually gives us a better answer to make better decisions of our investing.
People like me rely on our laptops and we open them up and we rely on the search engine to guide us through. What you're suggesting perhaps is that there won't be a search engine anymore.
That's right. A lot of people think of it as AI as just one big cool search engine. But what if I could take it and make predictive AI or generative AI? You ask a question, it does give you the answer, but it gives you answers of things you didn't actually think you were going to ask. Maybe gold in Japan, or in Australia, what's the best time to buy silver, right? You won't know that. It will actually give you those answers you didn't even know to ask.
So how does that avoid a sort of herd mentality with everyone pursuing the same data and being given the same information? Does that remove the kind of people who have an instinct for things?
Because everybody asks a different question. What if I can get a position in the software that says, hey, I'll get the same question, 20 different ways of being asked, and get 50 different answers. But then what if I could take those answers and pile it into one AI and it generates an actual answer? So what I wanted to do was take retail or institutional questions being asked, maybe it's the same question, and then give it regenerative questions, meaning it's going to ask questions that they didn't even know to ask. Here's a better question to actually ask. You ask this question, but what I really want you to ask is this question and give you a more finely tuned answer to your fintech question.
So where does the Web3 financial platform fit into all that?
Yeah, one of the cool things about Web3, it eliminates all of the constraints that you have from HTML. Web3 is actually blockchain. It's actually, when you look at your phone, you got a ton of apps. What if we can get rid of those apps and just have one way of looking at the web, like Google, right? Or in AR and VR, and it doesn't matter where you are, Web3 allows that, and that's what I really wanted to do.
So in terms of the structure of your organization, and you talked about vendors, describe that relationship to me.
Yeah, I have some very cool vendors. One of the things that I wanted to do was get the heavyweights of Wall Street into my platform. Look, I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and I said, look, I want my friends and people that I know that are quality. One of the questions that are being asked this week in WEF is trust and transparency. What if I could actually give that to people, trust and transparency? One of the cool things about my website and the platform is that I want to give the user one thing, and that is the ability to make it theirs, right? I think personalization is the key. Whether you are an options trader, whether you're just a regular stock trader, whether you are looking at other things, it doesn't matter. You can make things all around, move it around. You can take the Web3 and say, look, this is what I want here, and this is what I want here, and make it work together. And that's what Web3 does.
So with Quasar Markets at the heart of that, I mean, at WF, they talk about transparency and so on. They also talk about collaboration and partnerships. Presumably you are setting yourself up to have as many partnerships as you can.
Unlimited partnerships, unlimited possibilities. It doesn't matter what kind of a company you are. You may be one that's entrenched for hundreds of years, like the Wall Street Journal, or you may be a brand new company. I also wanted to create a SaaS behind that, software as a solution. There are so many barriers to entry into the fintech world. What if I could eliminate them? Many companies on the planet have one or two software techs, right? They have a developer or one or two. What if I told you I had over 600 to 700 developers at my ready? And in those, I can say, hey, look, it doesn't matter what your idea is. Come to us. We can help you build your idea and then give you a marketplace in order to show the whole world.
So what exactly is your vision then of the future?
I want to be the Amazon of the finance world.
Meaning what?
Well, the cool thing about Jeff Bezos was his brightest idea was to bring books to the internet. But what Amazon evolved over time was not what we saw at the very beginning, right? He really exploded when he put other third-party products onto his platform. And he also created AWS, right? What if I could do the same thing, but in a much bigger way for all of fintech? What if I could say, you have a book to sell, you have an education product, you have a program that you want to sell that you couldn't normally do. Normally you'd have to go to Google and buy SEO search engines and things of that nature. What if I can get rid of all of that and create one platform?
I suppose we were talking earlier, we mentioned that AI used to be a concept that people fantasized about, and that wasn't that long ago, and now it's a buzzword. There's still plenty of people out there who think that the future is scary as a result of AI. I read in your literature that you say the future is not scary. Well, I want you to stand by that now.
Hey, you and I are old enough to understand the Y2K or .com time, right? And everybody was scared then too. It's the same thing. We learn to live with it, we learn to grow with it, and we learn to actually accept it and actually use it. And I think one of the key words that you need to understand in the AI world is the one where I want to get across. It's efficiency. How does AI actually make that person more efficient? Is it better with a consumer? Is it better with an employee? Does it make them faster? Does it get them the right answer quicker? Does it make them a better trader? Does it make them a better human being is what we want to look for, right? And I think that's one of the cool things that we saw with .com. Today, we can't even imagine not being on a website, right? Or being on the internet. I mean, my dad gets mad now when the internet goes down in the house, right? So if you look in the future, AI, yes, it's scary because we're not sure how it's going to actually work. And I do think that we do need to govern it. I do think that we need to have rules in place. And I have meetings all the time, whether or not we should build it because it's so powerful. But the answer is yes, we're going to have to build it. And as we build it, we need to make sure that we have those right governs on it, make sure that we are being ethical in our standards.
So you said a moment ago your vision is to be the Amazon of fintech. What's your vision for the rest of us, for the people, the world that we're going to inherit with this kind of technology at our disposal, being all around us?
So many times people are so scared of the banking and the finance world, they don't know what to do. What if I could take institutional knowledge at the banks and put that in your hands in a way that's easy for you to understand and see? Also, at the way that you want to see it too. What if I make the platform more of a lifestyle platform? Sports scores and weather, things that you don't normally see on a finance platform. What if I could take the metaverse and put it right into it? Let's say some people love clothing. Maybe they'd rather have clothing on theirs. Maybe they want to see themselves buying a painting or art or NFTs. We produce that also on our platform.
Stephen, pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.